Thank you so much for joining us today on the Games Conversation channel as we continue on the home stretch of Metroid Prime. Just on the topic of Mario Party, I feel like it would... I don't know. I can't think of a reason why they couldn't do more than 4 players. You know?
I've always wondered that.
Because that's like, we have 6 people in our family now. 5 that will actually sit down, like can actively sit down and play a game. And so usually Smash Brothers is like our go-to because you can play up to 8 players.
On one system?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
But like even Mario Kart, so we're in Phendrana. I know I need to get... I know I need to get Phendrana's Edge. Did we really not get that? So there's a... Oh.
Didn't know you could do that.
Not really. I don't know that I needed to, but we're looking for an artifact. That's the big thing. And it's that one. And it says it's in Phendrana's Edge. And I guess I thought we had gotten this because we've been in that room before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to trek.
What room is it?
That. We're going to trek way out there. But on the way, we're going to find a couple more missiles. So I'm just going to kind of walk through areas that I think they might be in. And then we'll eventually make our way to the artifact. And that's what we're here for. So, sorry to interrupt our discussion.
How dare you?
I know. So, but yeah, we play Smash Brothers. Has up to 8 players. I got WarioWare. What's the one?
Yeah.
Smooth Moves? No. I forget what it's called. WarioWare something. Because it said it could play up to 5 players.
But it's not simultaneous, right?
Well, so far I haven't actually seen 5 players. Like, yeah, we've like taken turns and stuff.
Yeah, what? It seems like a Mario Party would be a no-brainer. Except they don't have games. A lot of their games are team games of 2 teams. So that's the restriction.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely have to be like a rebalanced game. Like, they'd have to like, configure it for more players. Which I think if they're going to redo Mario Party ever, like, that would be an evolution I'd want them to take. It's like...
more players.
Give us 8 players,
Yes, please.
But in Mario Kart, honestly, I'm still like super unclear why you can only have...
I'm sure it's the screen real estate.
Yeah, I understand that.
I don't want to break up the screen in 6. But they totally... There's no reason you can't. Our TVs... If we could play Mario Kart and split screen on a tube TV...
on like a 13-inch. For sure we could do it elsewhere.
Give us the option.
You cowards. So yeah, Mario Party, I'd love to see DLC. I think I think it's probably a given we'll see like the next batch of Mario Kart tracks. Because they still have like... Oh gosh. Okay.
I'm stuck.
We still have, I want to say, like 3 or 4 waves left. Like, they have a lot more courses that they're theoretically going to add.
They've promised.
Yeah. Which is cool. We usually bust that out every time there's, like, new courses to play.
Yeah, it gives you a fun reason to go back to it.
Yeah.
Wave beam.
So I think we've collectively decided Phendrana Drifts is like our favorite area of the game.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Oh, hey, he was standing.
Every once in a while you just need a rest.
Yeah, he was like, flying is too hard. I need
exhausting.
to try my legs out again.
Yeah, I'd say it's my favorite.
So Phendrana also does kind of like the factory motif really well, but blends it with snow, which in my book is That's a win.
And they did such a good job with the snow.
I think it's the snow falling, like the actual snow in midair. That does a lot for me.
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to walk through, like, ice or snow.
No. It's definitely the snow falling.
It is. It's the snow falling on cedars.
Pardon me?
I don't know. I think it's a movie. Maybe a book. So by the time this episode airs,
Yeah.
there will already have been an episode released in this playthrough where we attempted to like kind of go back and comb through Magmore Caverns. So it would be like maybe 3 or 4 episodes back from this one. So
Yeah.
if you're following along, you've probably already seen it. But when we were recording, the game footage didn't record for that one episode for some reason. And so rather than kind of like just sulk and, give up on the whole channel as a, all together and just say like, well, this is a failure, it'll never work.
Right.
I took it upon myself to think of a creative solution, and I
can't wait to hear what it is.
I know. I enlisted the help of my kids.
Uh-huh.
So we watched through all of our B-roll with like the game audio and commentary overlaid. And I made kind of like essentially like a shot list of like, here's everything that I think is happening on screen. And then I just basically directed all of them, and we recorded footage of like them reenacting most of like
them
things.
as like their persons.
Yeah, like my daughter was Samus, and so there'd be shots of her like on an elevator, or like from first person with her like little arm cannon sticking out. Or and then my boys were usually any of the enemies, so like they'd be space pirates just kind of like flying around shooting like bubble guns. Or like the lava dragons, they were those things. So I think
it's gonna be great.
It's a whole lot of editing,
is great.
honestly, but
it is great.
It's not anything I would want to do regularly, but it's something that I was just like, well, at least there's like a video out there now.
It's good. Are you editing it right now?
Yeah, I'm probably about 2/3 of the way done, but it'll come out.
How fun!
But yeah, it's ridiculous.
Because I wasn't sure if you were going to use figurines.
I did. That was one of my thoughts. Was like maybe like Legos.
No, this is way better.
Yeah, or honestly, my kind of lazy idea was to do like whiteboard drawings.
Yeah.
But yeah, the kids were excited to get into it, and there were some shots that I was like, that turned out really good.
Yeah,
I'm impressed. Oh, nice. Okay. So I think we've already found the 2 missile expansions here, and we're just honestly trekking out to get.
Wait.
Lore?
Do we have all the missiles?
Oh, let's check. The taming of Thardus continues. Barring unforeseen setbacks, it can be installed on Phazon Mine Patrol by Lotus Milestone. So they were going to put Thardus in the Phazon Mines. That's interesting.
Remind me who Thardus is.
He was the big rock monster that we fought.
Oh. Why would they put him there?
I guess because he's dangerous. Well, remember, because he was made of Phazon ore. So maybe he was kind of like the proto Omega pirate, because he's like big and made of Phazon. But then they were like, scrap that. Let's just mutate one of our guys.
Yeah, okay.
Research on Tallon IV is expanding into new areas pending stabilization of the Thardus venture. We will expand in animation research to include other native Tallon IV materials.
Things that are not animated?
I've never seen that in
animation.
So we're getting return artifacts to gain access to Impact Crater. So if you had not collected any artifacts like at all throughout the game, and you just got that little nudge like, hey, you should collect those things, you'd be like, what are these? Oh, there's 12 spanning the entire map. Cool. Then you really would be a little dissatisfied. But now, like, we're on the hunt for the last one. It's like telling us that's your objective. So I could see how some people might be frustrated.
The first time you played through, what was your experience with the artifacts?
Very similar to what we're doing now.
So
like,
you
I just
collect them as
found them as I went. And I went back to that artifact site so many times just to like check on it.
Yeah.
So you get more clues, and that would drive you to like further corners of the map. So, but you know, not everyone's like that.
Yeah, you're the perfect demographic.
That is
you're the perfect Metroid player.
You're the perfect demographic.
You really are. Like,
yeah, that's right. That's true.
just living it. Like, not most people would be like, you know, I think I just want to go back there just to check.
Yeah. Just to check. You want us to go to your house to check on your son? Yes.
Home Alone?
Yeah. You got it. So yeah, that video should be releasing soon. Like I said, you will have already seen it, but I'm excited.
If you haven't, then go, follow this link. Yeah. I like to do that just to so you can...
It is
right
like
there.
It's like a magical ability of YouTubers to like make those appear wherever they need to. But for me, I never can place myself on the screen. Like in real life, I'm like, where would I don't know. Is it like under my foot or something? You'll get there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go in the most direct way possible. Oh, we're actually pretty close.
I think you're doing it. Just make sure you go to the right, not to the left.
To the right.
Yeah, it seemed
I don't know if I meant to fall.
No?
So far.
It's pretty far.
Where's the door? I guess
you can go either or. Oh.
Okay, well, I'll go in the water because I'm already here. Because I love being in the water so much.
Love it, love
being
love
in the
it,
water.
Love it. So, I'm getting pumped about playing Star Fox Zero.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I've read up a little bit on Star Fox stuff. And actually, I did get kind of
I need to watch. You sent me some like history of Star Fox.
Yeah.
I do want to
watch
watch
the 30th anniversary.
Since I'm going to be kind of the co-pilot of that episode, I want to have like really good like Ed McMahon commentary.
Yeah. So I've listened to a couple of them. And it's interesting because someone made one for like the 20th anniversary of Star Fox, like a little like 8-minute documentary. What I sent you is like an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Oh, okay. 8 minutes.
But the 8-minute one is like kind of off, you know? Like at some point they made the statement that the team that came up with Star Fox was doing so well that Nintendo gave them this game called X to finish on the GameCube.
There is a game called X.
Correct. But in reality, they had been building that. They brought that game to Nintendo.
Okay.
And it was titled Eclipse. So it wasn't like Nintendo was like, you're doing great. Here, take this game. It was more like they developed it, and then Nintendo actually wanted to change the name from Eclipse to X.
Okay. And it was a Game Boy game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
with like
3-dimensional.
3D, yeah.
And it's kind of cool how they created it. They basically hacked a Game Boy. Oh. They apparently used like a bathtub with acid.
I vaguely remember this bathroom story.
Yeah. And in order to like take a Tetris cartridge and kind of give themselves like backdoor entry into the Game Boy to work on games for it. And Nintendo was so impressed with what they had done.
The hacking.
they pulled them in and to make a chip to make 3D games for the Super Nintendo. Because the Super Nintendo itself didn't have the hardware to support like the original Star Fox.
Yeah.
So they developed the FX chip.
I do know that, yeah.
And there's, I think, 3 games with the FX chip. It's pretty good. But I actually went down the rabbit trail of Dinosaur Planet.
Oh.
Star Fox. Do you remember that? We did it! The last artifact!
Final transmissions from the Orpheon point to a massive security breach. The Orpheon frigate. Oh, that's the ship from the very beginning that the space pirates were on. All personnel must inspect their life support systems before reporting to the mines. Oh, the massive security breach. That was me.
That's me.
Yeah, I'm the massive security. Orpheon crash site is an orange level security zone.
Oh.
Drill rig operators are to report any symptoms of phazon madness immediately. Last artifact.
Chozo artifact acquired.
Artifact of spirit.
11th.
100% of all pickups acquired. 100%.
Hey! High five!
We did it. Nice.
100%.
Cool.
Yeah, it says it right there. 100%.
That's awesome. So, we are free and clear to head back to the artifact site. So, I'm going to find my most direct route.
You want to save it first?
I mean, as soon as I can get... There's a save station there. I have a feeling it's that Magmore. So we'll do that. I'm going to trek back through and try and find my way back to Tallon. Obviously. As much underwater timing that I can get, I would love that.
Kept going down. Down, down, down.
Going down, down. So Star Fox, I saw, I don't remember if this was on
Adventure.
Twitter or
Yeah.
somewhere I saw, or maybe Reddit. Someone said that Star Fox was a series. I don't know if I think they said series.
Yeah?
But they basically said it was a series that was like kind of lost. And they said there was one good game, and the rest of them have been like failed experiments. And
What?
at this point, Nintendo just doesn't have anything to do with it. Like they don't, have any ideas for it. And I was thinking about that. I think that's a harsh take, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other part of it was that Star Fox only really lives on because the characters are S tier, meaning like really, really good in Smash Brothers. And so I started thinking about it. I'm like, that's mean-spirited, the way it was, kind of worded. But honestly, maybe that is kind of like the feeling I have about Star Fox, where it's like there's this one game, like the first one, or maybe 64, that people tend to really like.
Yeah.
And the rest of the games are all this kind of like strange experiments that don't quite pay off of what people like about the 64.
Yeah.
And so it never makes any advancements. And, I was thinking like, what's my awareness of Star Fox? And ultimately it is like Smash Brothers. Like I know it's a game that exists, but like we've talked about, I've never really played the Super Nintendo one, or much of the 64 one. Certainly not the Star Fox Zero. And so I'm curious, like when we play it, will we walk away being like, no, this actually is a really good game, and it deserves more? Or will we kind of be like, no, it's good. I mean, it's good where it is.
Right.
Because I know I don't personally have like the nostalgia for the series.
Right.
Because some people are like really like, it's the best thing ever. And it could be. I just don't have that, personally. So I'm curious to see how we'll land on it. I think you'll enjoy it for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Which I'm glad. I'm glad you're playing it because you're passionate about that.
Yeah. There are a lot of haters, but then there's also some folks who say like, it's really fun and it's really good.
Yeah.
But it's different than what people expected. And it kind of, there was like an era.
I somehow went all the way in the back direction.
Where I feel like motion controls was super hated on. Like people hated.
Well, there was definitely like waggle fatigue after the Wii. Because, there were great games on the Wii. Mm-hmm. But even like, even the great games on the Wii that required waggle, like like Skyward Sword, right? It's like
Yeah.
a Zelda game, but it's like some people just want to press buttons. Or Mario Galaxy, like there's like a little spin move. It's very like non-intrusive, really, but there's also the argument of like, well, why did you have to do that? And so I think there's just a lot of kind of, like fatigue around
motion control.
Yeah,
what's called? You said waggle.
Waggle was like the big word. Anytime motion controls were just included in a game, it's called like waggle. I don't know why. So by the time the Wii U rolled around, I think people probably were kind of over it. I guess I'll save here since I can't seem to find my way out. But the thing about the Wii U is like they really did like gyro controls, because that's when Splatoon released on the Wii U, and Splatoon is like really well liked, and I think the gyro controls are like a nice, a good feature of them. So I don't know. You'll have to kind of tell me, like, is it actually a good experience playing, or will we, like 5 hours in, still be like, ugh, this is so hard? Because that's gonna tank a game no matter what, if that's really the case.
Well, and a lot of people have been critical of how it looks.
I actually think it looks really good.
I think it looks slick.
Yeah.
And also it's impressive because it's rendering two separate images of that world at the same time.
Yeah.
Based on what I've seen, but yeah, it is interesting how. So Star Fox 64 was awesome. Well, the original Star Fox on Super Nintendo was incredible. Then they created Star Fox 2, but then were not able to release it.
Right.
And the reason why is because it was supposed to release right when the Nintendo 64 was going to come out. And so...
Or like it would have released like alongside the PlayStation. Like, isn't that right? Like it wouldn't have been able to compete with kind of like actual new 3D graphics.
So what I read was Nintendo wanted to make a clean cut of the Nintendo 64 is our
new
response to 3D. Like
Gotcha.
That's what's going to provide 3D games.
Okay, so they didn't want to say like, well, now the Super Nintendo can do it.
Right. So they didn't want it to be confusing of like, oh, well, the Super Nintendo is doing 3D games.
Why would I?
Yeah. So they wanted to make this clean cut. And so Star Fox was supposed to come out in like September, and the 64 was supposed to come out in December. And so they're like, you know what? We're canning this and pushing you to we'll work on a project for the N64. But then the N64 got delayed like 3 times, and so
yeah, it did come out late because I remember getting mine. I want to say I didn't get mine till like 98, like 8th grade.
Yeah.
But it came out like PlayStation had been out for a while at that point, right? Like 96, maybe. I don't know if that's true. I feel like PlayStation was out before.
No, I think PlayStation came out in 95, or I think it was 95.
Okay. Pretty advanced.
Yeah.
Pretty
Good work,
advanced
Sony.
PlayStation. Yeah. Congratulations, Sony.
Congrats. Meanwhile, I wonder how much Nintendo regretted pushing Sony to create the technology that would eventually become the PlayStation, right? Because they were partnering together, and they were going to make the CD thing for Nintendo, and then they're like, never mind.
Yeah. I always feel like I hear kind of mixed versions of that story. Like some versions say that like Nintendo was kind of too I don't know, possessive or something, and so that prevented, that drove kind of Sony to do something else. But then I think other sources I have read or heard say more like that Nintendo was kind of like, all aboard, but that Sony sort of like, decided to go on their own for other, maybe financial reasons or something. I want to say a big thing was like the Nintendo insisted on cartridges still.
Oh wow!
And because like the N64 has cartridges.
Yeah.
And Sony they knew they wanted bigger games, and so like Final Fantasy I think was like the big example because it's on 2 discs I think, and they just were like, well, we can't do these games on Nintendo, and I think that was like the big split.
Okay. See, I was always under the impression that Nintendo was the one that severed the.
Yeah, I don't know for sure. I'm not the historian, but I feel like I actually hear like conflicting reports, probably based on like whose side.
It's like any messy breakup, right?
Well, that's exactly right.
It came out December 1994.
94.
Yeah.
Wow. Hey, thank you for joining us today on the Games Conversation channel. Hopefully you loved today's video, and if you did, let us know just with a little thumbs up. It's easy for you and it's big for us. And really, that's it. So we'll see you in the next episode. I was about to say follow along with us again. Where is that coming from?
Well, that's better than follow us along.
That's
Follow us along.
Here we go.